Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the second hour here of Once Upon a Game. We're playing Across the Endless Sea. Yeah. Cool. So we just finished our first month. Now we're moving over to the second one. This is the opening of Autumn is Swiftness. So,
Yep.
who wants to go in the hot seat for this one here?
Yeah. Which threat confronts us this time?
I would like to go if it's okay, but if someone who just is, I've gone, I've played before, so like I
Before.
could do
Yeah.
it. But if someone else wants to step in,
I could do it.
okay,
Awesome.
yeah.
Also, everyone, watch out. Soon enough, Drummer Boy and I will be releasing our hack of this game, Across the Endless Skies, where it's all about skyships.
Perfect.
You heard
Yup.
it first.
Really?
Yes.
Brad.
I mean, we're spitballing in the chat. Like, I'd write that. That'd be
Yeah.
cool. All
I'd play that.
right. Adam, take it away.
Cool. Now help me a little bit with what I do here.
Yeah,
I'm on the
absolutely.
handout. I need to
Which-
describe what the waters look like and what makes them dangerous.
Okay. So first things first is you're gonna roll a random encounter prompt.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So eventually, my like layout and publishing guy is currently going through some personal life crisis, but like
This would be a card, right?
soon enough, yeah, there's gonna be a deck of cards, and then I'm gonna talk to someone about coding it for Roll20. But yeah, so you randomly generate a prompt, and then based on that, you run your encounter for that enhanced replayability factor.
Cool.
So yeah, if you roll a d8.
7.
Yep. And then, so there's two handouts, encounter prompts and encounter prompts, and you want the second one because that's got waters in it.
Gotcha.
And then if you scroll down to waters and have a look at what 7 is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And
The
then,
ill-tempered sea
oh,
sways.
so you don't read it. You don't
Okay.
read it. You read it to yourself.
Okay.
I just did that
So-
because we were demonstrating.
Yeah, we read it out loud
You
before
don't
for
have to.
demonstration purposes.
Gotcha.
From now on, you read it to yourself and you make the prompt decisions you make about what it looks like and what makes it dangerous. You just keep those private and then just tell us in the fiction what it ends
Exactly.
up looking like.
May I roll again then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you may. Though it would have been really cool to see the arc go over the boat. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Right, 3.
Nice.
So give it a quick read, make some choices about what it looks like and why it's dangerous, and then describe to us how we come across the whatever. And I should at this point note, encounters don't have to be like fundamentally and inherently hostile, and they don't have to represent like obvious threats, but they need to pose some kind of danger. So it could just be, everyone is
Absolutely.
swimming in the ocean and they don't want to leave because they're having a great time, but like there's still a danger there because we're losing time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I describe what it looks like and what makes it dangerous.
Yes.
Okay, great. I think in some legends, the waters of the endless sea are made from the blood of a god.
Yeah, that sounds legit.
Yeah. Which means that it lives and moves of its own accord. It's I read somewhere that the origin of the word ichor is the blood of a god.
Yes.
So that's exactly what I imagined. So it's sort of this oozy water that moves of its own accord and has divine properties and is sacred and whatnot. And what makes it dangerous is that it is cursed, enchanted, and magical, and is aware, sentient,
so-
and animate.
Okay, so you don't need to tell us those things. Those
Okay.
things are more for you than they are for us. Now tell us in the fiction, how do we come across this thing?
Yes.
Okay.
It's all good. We'll get the hang of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you're kind of scene framing it just as like
yeah, you know,
Yeah.
what do we physically first see and or you know, feel or smell or whatever?
Yeah.
How do we know something has changed?
I almost think we've reached a part of our voyage where the sea is lighting up from below with oh, this is a cool idea. It's like the Northern Lights except under the water.
Oh, that's cool as shit.
Love
it.
Awesome.
I
Yeah,
love that.
and it moves of its own accord, and at night it seems to almost sleep, so it kind of dies down in movement. It seems to like move as like a snoring person would slightly, but during the day it moves about, almost swims under the water, does chores, does its daily business and whatnot. These are just the waters we are encountering right now.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Nice.
So, who wants to confront this danger?
I've already recommended the first one, but I definitely have a recommendation for this one too. But I'm gonna sit on it and let someone else suggest something.
Yeah.
Kind of wondering about hands.
I was going to nominate myself.
Yeah,
like,
this is one of
Cool.
those times
That's
where
what I was thinking too. Me too. Yeah. Okay.
Same.
Yeah. I
this
feel
is
like
one
we're kind
those times
of.
where I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, if only we had the eyes of the people. We're good at seeing shit, but no, I think the hands is definitely also a really good choice.
Okay.
It's
Hands.
like a job for hands. Let's see. So I asked these questions from the when an encounter presents itself, right?
Yep. Yeah. So you like frame for us just a little like how the people are finding this. Like, what is their means of discovering these things?
Sure.
And then, yeah, and then you get to ask one or two questions, whichever seems fair.
Yeah. So we've sort of like drifted into this like weird water or whatever. It's weird, sparkly, maggy water. Life water. Pure water.
It's not showing up good, Andrew or Adam.
But yeah, I think the way we discover this sort of thing is I bet we have some sort of system on board the ship for turning water from the endless sea into drinkable water. And so like the like morning comes and we like pull up our like water gathering buckets and it's just like weird and glowy.
Oh, what if it's we do like the evaporative thing, right? Like we've got those like barrel drums where like you put the water in them and
right, because we already have like copper working.
Yeah, and then the heat evaporates it up and then it like siphons down and the salt is left behind.
Yeah.
And like there's not as much water and then we open it and left behind with the salt is all this like
this weird glowy stuff that was apparently in the water, and we're just like,
ugh. Why? We don't want to drink that.
I'm not drinking the
like,
water.
Ghost plasma.
It's like, no, it's fine.
Like,
we filtered all the plasma out of it. He's like, I'm still not drinking that water.
Yeah, all the ectoplasm has been left behind in the evaporative chamber.
So the question I will ask will be what skills do the people possess that might help them through this encounter?
And if Adam, if you need inspiration about skills that we have, the overall people playbook is your friend. It's all written down on there.
I'm sorry, which of the people?
The overall playbook, the main one,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
all of the stuff on there represents the various skills and whatever that we have.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like the people are. Let me take a look. Like, I kind of feel like the people have experience with these sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm seeing in the tales how sunlight can turn into like physical objects like the Golden City and stuff like that. So I
Okay.
feel like we have experience and understand. Well, not we, because I'm playing the Endless Sea, but I feel like the people have experience with, like, it's just a normal part of their experience that light can turn into a physical object when it's
That
rendered
ties-
properly, or
Mm.
That ties into like the Sky Serpent as well, like in that, yeah, it's kind of like a physical thing but made of light.
yeah.
Mm.
So they're experienced,
Okay.
is what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Is
yeah.
the answer to that question.
We're familiar
So-
with that idea.
So from here, I can either ask a second question or go to when you lead the people through an encounter,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, and it's up to you if you need one or think one is reasonable. Those are kind of the two questions. Like, the default is ask two questions because more fiction interrogating is always good. The exception is like if you don't need it because you already know exactly what you want to do, or if you don't see how the people could be gathering that much information in this particular situation.
Yeah, I guess one more tiny question. What properties might this thing possess that could threaten the people? Like, you know, we know what this thing is, but like, what's the danger here?
I feel like it it sort of infects you with the properties of a god, which turn you into being not a person, because gods are very powerful and can easily overwhelm humanness with godness.
Mm. That's very interesting, and it makes me rethink my decision for leading us through it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I asked that question.
And look what happens to not people, points at the bone net.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And the arc, right?
Mhm.
Also, like,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what happens is a few of the people's sort of smartest minds and like strongest smiths sort of come together, and after a very long and arduous meeting with no water to drink, because no one wants to drink the water right now, we solve it, relying on the innovation and expertise of our artisans and craftspeople. And I think we rework our water filtration system to sort of drain out the sunlight from the bottom.
Does that kill the sunlight? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't know if it kills it or just dumps it back into the sea, but dumping it back into the sea might kill it also.
Yeah, so like I'm totally picturing now that like the process is redesigned so that at no point like once the water goes in, like it doesn't touch light again. Like or
Exactly.
the entire process happens in total darkness, and it doesn't rely on like sunlight for the evaporative process anymore. It
Exactly.
relies on like fire or whatever.
Yeah, we like stoke a fire under it.
Yeah.
We got
That's
like
awesome.
hot coals on it now instead of like sunlight.
Yeah, and it's done like in the hold of the boat where like no sunlight goes. There's like a little
Yeah.
room set up. Yeah, awesome.
They had to be very careful instructing one person to tend to a fire on the boat.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So now you say the magic words to Adam, which are does it work? Does it work?
Yeah, does my course of action work?
Hmm.
And then pain happens.
Yep.
Bring
I've
the
seen that.
pain.
I've seen that expression before.
Which one is it?
I am thinking on that, and I think that so the water begins to evaporate, leaving the sort of solid light behind. And once all the water has evaporated away, there's nothing to dampen the fire anymore. And we see that there's almost like a chemical sort of reaction between the heat below the like the vessels we're boiling in, and it causes a great explosion in this part of the ship. So it's a chemical mishap, and
yeah. So just to step in, there's some important lines of like authority here. You don't get to say what is lost. You only get
Yes.
you only get to tell us how much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To make sure that it's clear.
Other people
Yeah.
give the stakes.
So there is an explosion, and
Yeah.
what it hits is not my choice, obviously.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm totally picturing
You
like-
lose one thing.
Yep. And what do we gain? If it works, but partly, we also have to win at least one thing. Or is this?
Or does it not work? I think the result was.
Oh yeah, it's working at a cost.
Oh, okay.
I was aiming for it failing to work, but it actually, the way I described it was actually the other thing, which is interesting. Yeah, it's one thing won, one thing lost, I think.
Sure.
Cool. I'm totally picturing that the explosion is like of light, right? Like because it's like the solid sunlight reacts with the fire, and then it's just
like a
this burst of-
flashbang.
Yeah.
It's that
Yeah.
anime. It's that anime thing where like the light turns things into a silhouette, and then they just like the shadow starts to shred away. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that Dragon Ball Z thing where people
Yep.
get hit with energy attacks and then disintegrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what happens.
Hmm.
Cool. But yeah, so Sci-Fi, you now get to choose who chooses what's won and who chooses what's lost.
Okay. Just I'm gonna go back over to the general page so I remember who people are. I'm going to say that Hearts won and Law lost.
So you cannot choose hearts because
Oh.
right now is the
Oh,
endless
right.
siege,
Okay.
and it's not,
Then
it's not a valid choice.
then Memories and Law. Memories
Yep.
win, Law loses.
All right, cool.
The one time someone nominates me to win this game, and I can't beat.
That's look, as Eric can tell you, that's the story of being the heart of the people. Like,
Yeah.
Eric, do you want to go first, or
No. I think no, but there's a reason. Okay, I was actually thinking about playing off of whoever else goes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. Okay, I'll choose first then. What is 1?
4.
Um,
I have a hard time choosing the opposite without knowing what was gained for some reason.
yeah. No, totally cool. All right, I'm gonna pick. I know what I want it to be.
Okay.
One of the people is changed and becomes a priest or sorcerer. I think they become
Again.
a priest. And I think who it is it's the person who was down there tending the fire, and I think they're blinded. Like I think their eyes are like literally physically seared out of their head. And inside there is just the godlight indwelling, and so now they see with the sight of a god. Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm gonna give that person a name.
Sorry, just like Ash being like, the sea joke being like, fire priest versus dragon priest. Fight.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I think this person is called Oka, and I'm gonna fill them into the members of the people thing now.
Good. And so I know exactly what was lost. I'm so glad you came up with this. One more time, what was their name? Oka? You chose Oka?
Okay.
That's their name? Perfect. So, of course, upon knowledge of this reaching the rest of the cabin, or I guess the boat, let's call it the boat. The rest of the boat, in an act of a way out of character, from someone who would be less than human, or more, actually someone who's more than human, a very human response. The Ark cries out and rushes to console Oka.
Oh, yes. Okay, can I...
And tries their best to tend to them.
I have a vision of what the Ark
So,
looks like. It
this-
came to me.
Okay. But just in purposes, this is not something the Ark's supposed to do. Like, the Ark is like,
Totally.
a god
They're not
among
allowed to leave.
people, and so like
Yeah.
leaving and touching a person is like, what? And they're consoling them.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
That makes me curious about
they're
the relationship
yeah,
between those two.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm totally picturing the Ark wears nets as clothes. And it's entirely ambiguous. Like, they're visually similar enough that it's ambiguous whether they're literally the same bone-weighted net, and the Ark is actually literally bound and entrapped by the people, or if it's just a ceremonial thing.
That's really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Eric, did you have another thing? Sorry.
Well, I was gonna. Can I kind of use the same one for two things? Is that possible?
Can we win the same? Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, that was what's lost.
Yep.
Cool. But I mean, ultimately, I was thinking about that as well, and sort of how that goes with the god, like losing the favor of the god, and someone of the bloodline like behaving differently. So like I was kind of marrying those two together, and that's why I thought it was poignant. Was that okay?
Valid.
Okay,
that's totally valid.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I just want to make sure
like
I read the right.
The prompts, like again, the prompts are like invisible.
Sure.
In that,
so what we see,
like it's kind of that like apocalypse world, right? Like make your movement never speak its name thing.
Yes. But what we see, so then what we see then is of course is her doing that, and then everyone's rushing, and now everyone is murmuring about what's going to happen and what does the storm dragon have to say about this, right? And what if the Ark can't behave like that, and if they do, what does that mean, and what is the future? What is our stance with the natural order, right? or the divine order, but I guess to us it's one and the same. But yeah,
So we have our scheduled like existential crisis.
exactly.
Cool. All right. So Eric, if you want to record that in there,
Yes.
that is the end of that encounter. It is now the end of the second month, and we begin the third month. The third month is the heart of autumn, and it is called respite or rest, because it is traditionally a time where things are pretty chill. Who would like to volunteer to lead an encounter?
I know Eric wanted to be the lead.
Yeah, I would like to lead. I'd
Last
like to
time.
lead if that's possible.
Eric wants some sea creature action.
Yep, I'm
Yeah,
just finishing
yeah.
up what's lost. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we're at a good point in the story for like a giant kraken to show up.
So our giant
Down.
lizard dragon can fight the giant lizard kraken.
I was going to say, and then we'll
Exactly, right.
capture it, and it'll turn one of us into a priest.
It's like
Then-
Pokemon. We gotta catch them all.
I was literally about to make the Pokemon joke. This is Pokemon, but all of the trainers turn into like
Yeah.
divinely
That's just even
touched,
better.
Like
That's why we have an
partly
arc,
human
right?
monsters.
Yeah,
We've got to capture one of everything
Wow.
and put it on the arc.
one of every Pokemon.
Oh.
And then when we get to the
Yeah, so-
festival, it's just a big Pokemon battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the famous story of Ruhal's arc.
Yeah.
Whew.
I feel like it's good we just got that comedy content out of our systems, because Eric is about to get to do bad things.
Excellent.
Yep. So, the northern lights are back beneath the ocean.
Great.
I think that's
That's it.
yeah, because I kind of want to hear more about how people are investigating it. Although the northern lights are back, but rather than being the whimsical, sentient, I'm not sure what the word I'm thinking of, like almost like Fey behavior. This one is kind of like trailing the ship.
Purposeful.
Yeah, like
So
Yeah.
does it,
it's guided by a purpose. Yeah, like by like a singular purpose. Like it's
So does
doing
it-
something.
does it almost seem like we left
It-
the area of that water, but some of it has followed us?
Yeah, like
that
it's not
kind of
supposed. Like
sense
it's
we
not. Yeah. So this is out of place. So you're getting a sense of this is out of place.
Yeah, because I was picturing anyway before, like really like diffuse, like dappled light through the water, like playing
Yeah.
around. Whereas this sounds like it's like a cluster of lights.
This one, yeah. This one is more.
Following us.
Yeah, this is a cluster of lights following.
Oh boy, this sounds like great fun.
Okay.
Okay, Eric is the dwellers, which means that it's probably some horrible bioluminescent sea monster. Wild speculation.
I
I like the idea of getting the heart to take care of it, because the heart has a bunch of the options that are like, and then we fight it using our bravery and trust in each other, and then we fight it by stabbing it in the back with cold, merciless awfulness. And I feel
Ooh.
like that would be interesting.
I'm always a fan of cold, merciless awfulness.
Yeah, I know, right?
Do they also
Um,
have the like let's make friends with it things as well? Don't
Yeah,
they?
they
Yeah.
have that too. The heart has a range of interpersonal options from friendship to murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like
That's
I
why
feel
they're
like-
the best part of Captain Planet.
exactly. I feel like let's go with heart, because I think it'll be helpful to be like, does this creature have feelings, and are its feelings like positive ones before we decide whether we're gonna run away or kill it or make friends with it? Like,
I
I feel like that would
also-
be
I like heart. I also like laws, but I don't know if
have
we've
laws.
used that.
We can't
Oh,
have laws because Eric
Yeah.
is Eric.
Mhm.
laws.
You're doing laws. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. Well then, yeah, heart sounds good.
All right. So, Heart of the People, you must lead us through this challenging confrontation with the spoopy water. With Leiden.
Excellent. Which part do I do first?
Okay,
You-
so third column.
2 interrogating questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. So first the 1 or 2 interrogating.
1 or 2,
questions,
Excellent. Great.
And then the confrontation.
This is the first one my eye set itself upon, and I like it, so I'm going to ask it. How does it make the people feel? Cold with rage, hot with fear, greedy, excited?
Makes the people very, very anxious and nervous. Dovetailing on the... They think this is divine retribution for how the Ark behaved. Whatever this is.
Yeah.
Especially as there's sounds underneath the water and the Ark, and you hear, like, the sounds of... Not pitter-patter, like underneath, like raining, but
But from underwater.
scampering. Skittering.
Ooh.
Skittering is. I've never heard the word skittering used in a context that made me happy that it had been said.
Yes.
It's just a bad word.
It's just bad.
On the outside of the Ark.
Exactly.
Oh, on the boat. Oh, that's even
Ooh.
worse. I don't like this.
I like this question. Who
Okay.
loves this thing? Who fears this thing? And who hungers for it?
Oh, yes.
Who loves this thing?
Yep. You're gonna answer all of them.
Yep.
The protectors of the Lost Land love this thing. What was the next question?
Who fears this thing?
Who fears this thing?
The people.
The people fear these things.
Yeah.
From our stories about I don't want to butcher her name. Sarga.
Yeah.
From Sarga leaving the Lost Land.
And who hungers for this thing?
Our small but brave cadre of warriors. Eager to prove themselves.
Interesting. So do I move on to the next, the box
So
below it?
Yeah, Yep, choose a course of action and tell us what it looks like. And it's up to you if you want to literally read us the option you choose, or if you just want to indicate it and use it as a jumping off point.
Gotcha.
I feel like I keep making a classic mistake in this game. I
Mhm.
feel like I'm setting up something and then I'm expecting to follow through after the fiction gets interrogated by the questions, and it's not
And there isn't
working.
the opportunity to do so. Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Like you have to just put all the cards you have out right at the
Yeah.
start.
Okay.
So you don't get a chance to do it later.
All right.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay. So if you don't mind, can I amend what's going on a little bit to give you a little bit more to work with? Because I feel like I've given you literally nothing to play with.
Yeah.
Right.
It's fine by me. Yeah, totally.
Sure. From the
This
sides.
is,
yeah.
This is not a game about keeping secrets, because I,
Right.
on the whole, as a person who plays role-playing games, don't believe in that kind of play.
Yeah.
I think
Neither
it's
do I.
interesting.
That's why I feel like I was like soft move, hint of something, and then interrogate
Yeah,
questions.
no,
Hard
nope,
move. Here's the
nope.
thing. What do you do? Right. Instead, it just
Yeah.
I know. So, anyways,
It's all hard moves. There's no
this-
soft moves in this game.
the scampering reveals itself as coming off from the sides of the arc are let's say a school of anglerfish-headed fish people with dirty blood red scales and shark-like maws and little little glowy angler things on their foreheads.
Gross and amazing.
Dope.
That's awful, Eric.
Yes. Divine punishment. Or is it?
I'm going to restate what I said in chat earlier, which is break yourself upon my heart, and I'm going to approach it, opening their hearts and offering kindness and friendship.
Oh.
What does that look like?
I think so the warriors are ready for battle, right? Because we've already established that.
But you're choosing a non-violent one.
Yeah.
So what does that look
because I think that the fish people come in from a side that wasn't expected, so they're already in like a civilian part of the ship. The people who are afraid of these people, and the people immediately start offering hospitality and bargaining with them. So they begin offering like some of their resources off of the ship. Like I feel like we probably fish for food or something like that.
Yeah, of course we do.
Definitely.
They offer their fish on several platters to the anglerfish people.
Oh,
Sure.
Adam.
Who's leading this?
Adam.
Who is they? Like who's the person who we could say, or the group of people in charge on the ship who are leading this thing? That have persuaded the fighters to not do this and do this approach. Who's doing that and what?
So there is a person strong of will who is non-binary named Halye.
Yep.
And
You narrate away, I'll add them in.
okay, cool, thank you.
So Hallie is doing this, is leading them.
And they the soldiers aren't right there at first, so there's a little time to establish communication. And I think there's some ability to communicate through nonverbal cues, because I feel like these things are a little animalistic. So if you kind of act not very threatening and give them food and what they need, then they can be like they'll be fine, even though they're dangerous things.
Yeah. So
And Halye is trying to when the soldiers come, Halye halts them with their hand, and with their other hand shows these vicious creatures not rending people's skin off of their bodies, but some of them are finished eating and they're just sort of hanging out, prowling around on 4 feet. And
all right.
Sure, this fails to work.
So I was just about to say, so as the lead aspect, it is important. You don't get to describe whether the thing succeeds or not. You just get to describe what the people do.
yeah,
So they offer the food.
that is
Now
fine.
Eric
You can
gets
just
to
erase
choose. Yeah.
Sure, it fails to work. They offer
what
the
I
food. They want
narrate as
more.
success.
You keep feeding
Oh,
them.
they
They
want-
want
oh,
more.
God.
They want more
Yeah.
and more and more. They're near insatiable.
Oh god.
It's not working.
Of course.
Great. So Eric, how many things do we lose?
Oh, just one.
Yep. Okay. So we got to choose one thing we lose, and then we have to try again.
Correct.
So, Adam, who chooses the thing that we lose?
And who is eligible for that? Anybody? Who's
Everything
not.
but law, right?
Everything. Yeah, everything but Law and yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Law and heart.
Hands has a bunch of material stuff, so it might be a sensible choice, but it's up to you.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Let's go with the hands.
Okay.
All right.
Hands, what do we lose?
And remember, you can always just say what makes sense, like the food.
Yeah, we lost a necessary resource in some abundance, food.
Cool. All right, I'll write that down. Heart of the people. That didn't work. Try again.
So yeah, I haven't
Cool.
actually been in a game wherein we've had a complete failure. So I wasn't. Yeah, I don't know how this procedure works. So we literally like
So
we have the same lead aspect, but we choose a different approach.
So the
Okay.
the lead aspect just tries another course of action, and then if
Right.
that one doesn't work, we lose some more things, and they try another course of action.
Yeah, that's
I
brutal. I
think-
love it.
I think the record is 3 rounds with Eric and his fucking stupid island that he made, but
Excellent.
it was beautiful, Eric. I love you. So Adam, Heart of
Yes.
the people.
Mm-hmm. Let me look.
So it's not that it's not that they're rejecting your offers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
they
just
just
that
want
it's
more
not
than their
enough.
fair share.
yeah, more than we have.
More than you have. Yes. Yeah, that's fair. So if you want to communicate an answer to you, you do not have enough food to satisfy them.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, it's a question if they could ever be satisfied.
Yeah, exactly. We approach it hardening our hearts and offering false smiles and cold betrayal. So we're going to tolerate this, and then we're going to usher them off of our boat. Just have the soldiers throw them off instead of killing them.
Yeah, okay. I think you win something and lose something.
Excellent. I want the voices of the people to tell us what we win, and I want the memories of the people to tell us what we lose.
Cool. I'm sorry. I was catching up on chat and the interesting conversation going on there. Adam, I actually missed what you said. What was the course of action we took that just worked?
Sure.
Stabbing them in the back, basically.
Oh, cool, great. Okay, yeah, I can work with that.
Yeah. We tolerated them like devouring almost all of our food, and then we just had the soldiers throw them off the boat instead of like stabby with our spears.
Yep, cool. All right, and then I got to choose what was lost. All right, cool. Voice of the people. Would you like to go first?
Sure.
Or do you want
So
me
I'm
to go
choosing
first?
something that was. I'm choosing something that was 1.
Yep.
Yep.
Right. Let me have a look here.
Hmm.
Need the right page. Okay. Something that was 1. Okay. All right. So I think actually, even though this one sounds quite sort of positive and gentle, I think it's a little more complicated than that. I'm going to choose a new etiquette or custom known and respected across the endless sea. So I think this experience teaches the people something about like a very specific way to engage with these kinds of denizens. Like, if you are going to offer them food, you must offer it in this specific way. Or, that's a bit like kind of, I'm treading on the toes of the law here. But I think it's less like a rule and more like, they learn that just offering food is not always going to work out how they expect. And so they sort of decide amongst themselves to behave differently and more with more reservation toward like visitors in the future.
Cool. Oh, here we go. Okay. Also, but so before I say this, Eric,
Yes.
earlier in the game, you suggested, or maybe someone else suggested, that there was a taboo that the Ark like was never allowed to touch the water.
Yeah, that just came up. We never solidified it or anything like that. But if you want to play with that, go ahead.
Yeah, like if okay, so I think that's a thing. I think that like that was a cool thing. It makes a lot of sense because like the Ark is a relic of the time before we were seafarers, when we had land to live on.
Yeah, on the Lost Land. Yeah.
And if I think the thing is like if they ever touch the water, like we will lose forever the chance of getting the Lost Land back or something.
Yeah, well, I think they're if I could, if it's yes,
Yeah, totally.
yes, that's true, and I think the only place they can touch land is at this festival. Like, there's something about this meeting thing that they can go around, and that's why we have to go there.
Yeah, cool. All right, so can you write that on the sheet because I'm about to make that painful for us. I think
Write that as a
when
taboo?
we are throwing. Yes, I think
Sure.
it exists as one. I think we've established it in the fiction. So I think as we're throwing the anglerfish people overboard, I think one of them is like underthrown slightly. Maybe it's like one of the bigger ones, and the person doing the pushing isn't like that strong, and they fall like awkwardly, and they crack their head on the side of the boat, and start to bleed. And when all of the angler men are in the water together, there's like a concerned response to this, and they all kind of gather around and see the wound and see that injury has been done, and then all eerily, like a flock, like a bunch of sharks, like all in unison, they turn and look at the boat, and they each rip like a scale off themselves, and they throw them onto the boat, and they land on the roof of the little cabin where the Ark lives.
Oh, in the middle of the ship, yeah.
And the Ark is cursed.
Oh, I like that
And
it's
they
like
are
spitting
cursed.
on them.
And they are cursed now. They become like an amphibious creature. And to be out of the water now is painful to them. It is uncomfortable to them. It is
So people have to like
it's
put
not
water on
life-threatening,
them.
but it is.
Yeah.
But they're not
So-
allowed to touch water, Eric.
Well,
Or we
okay.
never get to go back.
Yeah. All right.
Like-
I said. So I think
Okay,
it's
so
that
you
they
haven't gone
can't.
that
It's
far?
not.
Okay,
No, I can't. We can't go that far because what if it rains and stuff? Like
that's
it's
why they stay in the
unreasonable.
cabin.
It's
That's why they stay in the cabin,
that's
Eric.
a little unreasonable.
No, that's fair. That's
Maybe
I'd say
it's-
the Ark cannot go in the ocean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
okay.
was thinking. The distinction between rain and sea, there is
Okay.
one.
Like it
Well, so,
can't.
okay, so yeah. That's
So
fair.
like the ocean, like you can like
yeah.
splash
But then-
her, and it's not like our entire
So do
culture's
we take
ruined,
our, like,
right? Like
our-
a domino.
yeah,
Take our
But
purified drinking water to the Ark.
but I'm
Yeah, someone's got like a little
I'm gonna be-
spritzer, you know, like a little like Windex with water.
I'm gonna be a dick about this. It
Yeah.
has to be seawater. Like she
Yeah,
to be out of the water now is suffering. Like she is cursed to a form that is meant to be submerged in the ocean.
yeah, I'm cool with
And
that.
so we are forced to choose between letting her suffer and maintaining the taboo and breaking the taboo and easing her suffering. And the people just have to live with that now. That's what we lose.
Yeah. Yep.
Damn.
Difficult
Okay.
choices. That's what it's
Yeah.
all about.
Yep. So, that is the end of that month.
And it's past the hour.
Yep. All right, let's go for a break.
Yes. So we'll be right back, guys, for the third and final hour here of Across the Endless Sea. See you guys in about 5 minutes.
Cool.